Hannah Van Buren was the wife of President Martin Van Buren, but unfortunately she died early and never saw the White House. She was born Hannah Hose on March 8th, 1783, in Kinderhook, New York. They married in 1807 when they were both 24 years old. They were also cousins. Her and Martin would have 5 children together. Hannah died of tuberculosis on February 5th, 1819. Their daughter-in-law, Sarah Singleton, would perform the duties of First Lady when Martin Van Buren was president. Martin Van Buren never remarried. Now, Sarah was born on February 13th, 1818, in Wedgefield, South Carolina. She was educated in South Carolina at the Columbia Female Academy and then attended Madame Grillon's French School in Philadelphia. While on a trip to Washington, her mother's cousin, Dolly Madison, introduced her to Martin Van Buren's son, Abraham. They hit it off and were married on November 27th, 1838. Martin Van Buren was unable to attend, but he approved of the marriage. After a trip to Europe, she had hoped to bring in some of the customs of Europe to the White House. She also wanted to recreate some of the great gardens they had in Europe in the White House gardens. After 1840, she really didn't serve much as a First Lady because her first child died, and then later she became pregnant. Then the economic panic of 1837 came, and it made White House functions look a little out of touch. After leaving the White House, she moved with her husband to Sumter, South Carolina. Martin Van Buren then invited them to live in his home in Kinderhook, New York, where she took on hostess duties there. Martin Van Buren stayed active in political matters throughout his life, even after leaving the White House. Martin Van Buren's son, Abraham, went off to fight the Mexican War. After the war, he retired from the military and they took a trip to Europe and eventually moved back to New York City. She died on December 29th, 1877. Her husband died 5 years later. She was only 59 at the time. If you like these short First Lady videos, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for listening.